welcome to episode 2 of Hair Mafia.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I'm AJ, aka Hair by Bass.
And I'm Tracy, aka Tracy Does Life on Instagram.
Yeah, so we just locked down episode 1 and it was better than I thought.
I think so.
Yeah, we were a ball of nerves.
Well, I was. You're like, girl, it's fine. And I'm like, ooh.
I'm just faking it till I make it.
True. That's
Fake
what
it
they
till
say.
Fake it till you become it.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're becoming.
We're becoming.
So what should we talk about in this episode? Like I don't know, but still.
But still, what should it be? Consultations, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
The power of a consultation and how important they are. Take it away.
Oh, okay. So, oh, well. So when you come in for a consultation, no, I'm just, honestly, consultations are so important because obviously they're important. You guys need to be on the same page, speaking the same language. Just if I were talking to a stylist right now, or if I'm talking to you, it'll just be easier for you in the long run if anything happens. We always make sure to have like a consultation waiver, like a color or an extension waiver.
Especially because that's what we do, extensions. And it's like,
Yes.
if it doesn't turn out how they expect it, not even look-wise, but like maintenance or whatever,
Just-
there's some sort of hiccup,
Yes.
they're just like, give me my money back. And it's like,
Yeah.
once
They're really
it's in
quick
your
to
head,
do that. Yeah.
unless it's something on our end that we
Right.
definitely know, but like when people like tone them wrong, stylist or,
You're
whatever,
right.
or they try and color them, like bleach them or
Yes.
lift it. It's like, that's your fault.
Yes. Or I mean, I've even had people, whenever you first get extensions, I'm like, let's not cut them. And then they go somewhere else and have someone cut them and it's a disaster. So you definitely need the waiver to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And it's good for them to have also.
Yeah. And I think
They may not
too-
think that it's good for them to have. They may be like, what am I even signing? Sometimes it can seem off-putting, but you just need, and pictures are always okay. I always want pictures because I just have to see if that's even attainable. And my number one is they have to have at least like the same hair texture or skin color or eye color if that's visible in the picture.
Right, because everything's the back of somebody's head.
Right. Or, I mean, maybe the girl is pale blonde naturally and has light blue eyes, and then the lady showing me is like me, like dark hair, dark eyes. So it's like that may not work.
Right.
Or if someone's hair is super thick, clearly, I mean, you need and want the extensions for like fullness and thickness. But if the hair texture just isn't there to give them maybe what they're wanting, then yeah.
Well,
So I always ask for pictures. Don't ask for too many. But just 2 or 3 for me is like good. I'm like, okay, I can get what you're saying because everybody's lingo is different. Like someone could say icy, but they mean just bright. Or someone could say not gold at all, but to make it bright, you have to have gold. And so that's where all these words just get, and that's,
it kind of gets muddy.
Right.
In every sense of the word, because
Yes.
it's like you can't say gold to somebody because then they like have a fit. But it's like, okay, I know I need to formulate that. It's like, but that would probably put somebody in hysterics.
Yes.
Like when I put a level 8 low light in someone's hair and they're like, my hair looks black.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
look goth. No, you don't look goth.
It's like, you just got a dark root and that's what you asked for. So I'm like,
Right.
You brought up a good point. I kind of forgot about that when they bring in a ton of pictures because I'm like, what is the theme here? And they're just kind of like, I like this. And I'm like, the only thing I know is that they're all blonde, or they're all like lived in or something. I'm like, no, but I see like this and this. And I'm like, against the back of somebody's head. And pictures can be great, but a lot of people will get on Pinterest and I'm like, Pinterest is full of filtered photos.
Literally,
a lot of them are.
The picture that you showed me the other day that the client sent you, it said at the bottom,
synthetic
wig. And it's like, okay, that's not happening.
Yeah, so that's on my hit list. I'm like, stop bringing me pictures of wigs.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not going to work.
No.
Yeah. Pictures are good, yes. Not for that.
Yeah, and so that was like a good teaching moment too, because I was like going through it with several clients. But
I still have those weeks too.
Not that I really wanted to quit, but I was like, I'm just so over this because it's like you want to keep communication. That's the thing too. I think that it's such a double-edged sword that people can get in contact with you so easy, but then it's also like, I guess this goes into consultation too. It's like kind of gauging if your client is easily offended or whatever. Because if you tell them like, this won't look good on you, and they're like, oh, well, my girlfriend,
It's
or
like, okay.
yeah, or it's just like, I guess it's understandable to a degree, but they want to blame you. They're like, my extensions didn't feel like my girlfriend, and I use all these high quality products, and and then somebody was like, did you sell me used hair? And I was like, you watch me get it out the package, like unbox it literally. Yeah. But yeah.
So consultations, so definite pictures. I always ask about their lifestyle. Like, is this real for you to like, and I always tell people like, if it's your first time to get extensions and it's like June, maybe you should push it out and wait till the fall. Or if you're going to take them out ever, if you like wear them all year, the best time to take them out is the summer.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like people understand the maintenance of extensions. Like, it's not just, oh, you come in and you spend X amount of dollars. It's, well, you have to take care of them. You have to wash them. You have to dry them. You can't sleep with them wet. You have to use good products. If you're going to the pool, you need, all these things. It's like a full-blown lifestyle change. If you go to the gym all the time, if you're sweating, you still need to blow dry them afterwards. Like, all of that needs to be communicated with the client.
Yeah.
Also in the consultation.
Yeah.
Because, price to me, obviously we go over price, but I talk about pricing last. And I know that that's the main reason that they're, hey, can I afford this or not? Or is it in my budget or whatever? But I've had some clients give feedback on popular salons that they've went to, some local, some not, some like in Dallas, LA, when it's like the first thing, they're like, it's X amount of dollars. Can you do it or can you not? That's the first thing that they talk about. So I think that that's kind of off-putting. So that's usually the last thing that I talk about, even though if they, obviously everyone wants to know the price of things, but like if it's, I think people will get offended, like, can you afford it or not? Because if not, get out, you're wasting my time, and you don't want to be that way.
And in a weird way, I feel like that works for some stylists or some salons where it's just kind of like, this is our price. And I think that something that I run into is a lot of people associate price with quality or a quality service or quality hair or whatever. And I'm like, you have to be competitive in your area. Like that's, right. But like one of the clients that you did a consultation with, she paid like almost $3,000 for hair. And we were like, okay, looking at this, like, did you get other services included? And she was like, no. And I was just like,
well, and the hair was bad quality and she was very unhappy.
It was insane. And it was just like, it's sad in those cases because you almost kind of want to do what you can. And it's like, but then they're spending more money. And then they also kind of get trapped into, well, I do need extensions because
look at me.
You offered to take it out. And she was like,
there's no way that I got
to go to work. I can't, I can't have like this trash bag ponytail where it's like twisted off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that. Not that it looked like that, but it was just like, this is causing more damage.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But it's nice when you can like do that transformation. But in the consultation, you just want to know if they have realistic expectations. And
totally.
I always kind of ask people, I said, are you a low maintenance kind of person? Because they're like, I'm thinking about extensions. And I'm like, if you're thinking about it and you're not like, I've been wanting them, dude, I'm like, don't do it. Yeah. And to each their own. Some people are just like, okay, let's do it. And it's like, I get excited about extensions. But
so do I. And it's not even because they're a moneymaker. I mean, some people I know charge, $1,000, $1,500 for color only. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, sure, extensions are a moneymaker, but then you got to deal with a lot of the higher maintenance, which it just comes with it. And, it's totally fine. But yeah, that's kind of part of the consultation also. So that brings us to like, when do you say no? Like, what is a red flag at a consultation?
Colored contacts.
No, I've
had some interesting experiences with people with colored contacts, but it wasn't. No, but it's just like people who have gone through big life changes.
Yes.
Or in the midst of big life changes. And it's like, sometimes I feel like it's easy to take it out on a stylist because it's like, I've had some people say, I'd rather get my hair done than go to therapy because it makes me feel better.
Instant.
And so and they have like this huge expectation on you. Sometimes you don't know that until after the fact.
Right.
Or sometimes I get really nervous because like, you'll have an extension client, they want color and they want this and that. And then so you're doing like, $400 service, easy. And then they're like, yeah, I didn't get spousal support. And so can I like pay this in installments? And I'm like, just did all the work. So I guess I lost money.
Yeah.
So it's like, back to the point is, when you say no, it's like that is also part of the consultation. It's not only lifestyle, it's like what life changes are you going through? Are they going through a breakup? Is somebody sick in their family? Is whatever. And it's like that all factors in there, because it's like, yes, they just want to like feel pretty, but it's like,
Sure.
did you just have a major surgery? You're not going to be able to wash your hair. And so it's like, you also want to ask like, okay, well, are you going to get like maintenance appointments, like blowouts and things like that to help you like through this or whatever? And so
Right.
I've seen issues, and not necessarily, thankfully not with me, but it's just kind of like, this isn't going to
Make you happy.
yeah, it's not going to enhance you. It's just,
I mean, it will make
like,
you happy, but it's not going to fix whatever's inside that's really
when
making
you leave,
you unhappy.
you're going to be great, and then you're going to start texting me and being like I had this girl, she was so sweet. She needed 3 rows, whatever, quoted her. I mean, and she was a young girl. I'm like, girl, where'd you come up with all this money?
Yeah.
And she was like, I just feel like I look stupid. Take them out. And I was like,
okay,
let's talk about it. But she was like, Dad said, she was like, it was nothing you did wrong. She was like, I just really wanted them and I could do it. And she's like, it wasn't for me. And I'm like, and we talked about all the things. I was like, are you ready for this? So I'm like, sometimes you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But it was really funny.
Yeah. I think like newer stylists they just want to say yes to everything. Obviously for money purposes, and they're just excited.
Clients.
Yeah, I'm building clients, and they're just like, oh, this is like awesome. I have an extension client. I'm so happy, and it's great. So then they just say like yes, 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 and then it turns into, I should have just said no at the consultation.
Or not even like this is kind of like an offset to like consultations, but it's like when you're interviewing for a salon, you kind of have to like, you know, me being on the other side, like I asked you a bunch of questions and I already knew what you were about, but I think a lot of people will, you know, go to kind of like these chain salons because they're like, okay, I'll get clients and this and that. And I'm like, I feel like sometimes they're not prepared to like branch out past that. And again, this is like kind of like new set of eyes to this. And I had a really good friend. She was like, I'm going to work at so-and-so. And I said, you are like too talented to be constrained because there's a lot of time constraints on that. I'm like, you can do great work, but they're only going to give you 30 minutes to do X, Y, and Z. And I lucked out because I'm like, there was just a good clientele that comes into our salon, but it's like, you sometimes can't fall for, we're going to give you all the walk-ins and this and that. And so it's like, sometimes you have to learn to say no to that as a stylist working somewhere and realizing like, does that fit for you? But it's like, you do want to come out of school and make money.
Well, definitely.
And it's slow.
Yeah, and it's hard to build. I mean, unless you're just like super lucky or you just fall right into a certain spot. I mean, it really is tough to build.
And especially your social media presence does play into that. And it's like, you know, sometimes you don't do anything wrong. And it's like somebody's just always scrolling and then they find another stylist. And, you know, you are free to go anywhere you want. But also, too, that's part of your consultation. It's like, are you a chair hopper?
Right.
Like, that's a red flag.
Definitely, it is a big red flag.
What has been your experience with chair hoppers, though? Because I know you have a few, like, they'll leave, and there's nothing wrong, or maybe there's something wrong, or you posted something, they offended them, and then they come back, and you're like, what happened to your hair? It's all broke off.
Right. Well, they're not necessarily chair hoppers. I do a lot of extensions that they go elsewhere for color, which is totally fine with me. They love their colorist. I love their colorist. I'm like, hey, if they ever decide that they want to do extensions, I can teach them. They can always ask me anything about rooting them, or while they're doing their color service with my client. Well, I mean, I've had chair hoppers leave and come back. I've had people leave and like you'll do their hair, or Sydney or Caitlin will do their hair for a while and then come back. It's just part of it. I personally don't mind if people want to.
I don't mind at all. I think it's just interesting
when it keeps happening, and I can see like it being in the same salon. I really don't care. But if they're like going somewhere and like bashing, like I hate what she does, but then it turns out, well, they don't really like what this stylist does either. So then they come back to me and it's like,
or the salon that they bash, they comment on, they're like, oh my God, I love you so much. I can't wait to see you. And I'm like, You just told me you hated them.
Right. Like 2 hours of our whole appointment was you saying, and so that's where clients will get into the drama of competitive hair salons.
Or they try and bait you into the drama. I think that's what's funny too. It's like,
I'm like, it's not happening.
Like, oh, do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, I really don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I hate her.
Well, that's another, I mean, during a consultation, like, I'll be like, if they clearly have, you know, extensions already in, I'll be like, what don't you like about this? Where did you go prior? And it's not to like bash the salon before. It's just usually we can kind of figure out like what method they're doing, because a lot of salons will do like certain methods and it's like maybe it's not working for them. Hey, we do that method too, but maybe we'll try something different.
Or that's when another they try and protect the bad work of a salon. It's like we don't want to know to like bash them because they're like, I don't want to say.
And I'm like, it's not, I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to say, hey, girl, she's here. Maybe I will. Depends on, no, I'm kidding. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I also ask in consultations. But one of my red flags is not, I don't want to say not taking no for an answer. Basically, like, when's your next availability? Well, if they're committed and ready to go, I'm going to say it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my availability, because usually if I do a color and a full extension install, it's 4 to 5 hours. And I don't want to just rush people in and squeeze them in and fit them in. That's just not how I work. I mean, some salons do and some salons don't, and that's totally fine.
And it works for some people.
Totally. But I've had a few where it was just one of those days and they're like, well, I like really need to get in this next couple of weeks because I've got this, and this going on. And I already know better myself. But I'm like, okay, I'll just stay late that day. And then they turn out to be probably not the best clients.
Yeah.
In general.
You don't work Sundays.
Yeah. Do you not work Sundays? When did you quit working Saturdays? And, you know,
I'm busy. I need a 7 p.m. appointment because I work. And I'm like,
but yeah, but so do we all day. Yeah.
It's like you took off for your dentist appointment.
Right. Yeah. And it's not, but I think that if I set the standard of, you know what? No, this is my schedule, and you can wait, or you can go to AJ or Sydney or Caitlin, or maybe just a whole other salon. But I think even if I do it the one time, especially the first time, it kind of sets them up to be like, she'll do this anytime for me.
Well, I think that was the thing too, especially like I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch to full time, which I did in June, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'll spread out like my clientele. And I'm like, I got a bunch of new clients, and I was like, and there still wasn't enough time in the day, and so, you know, with that, because I was like, okay, I was taking clients like, you know, later, or I would get up earlier, or this and that. And it's like when you try and transition into that boundary, because it's like, even if I'm not dating, even if I don't have kids or whatever, it's like it's important for me to like cut it off. And like, you know, because it's like, how do you restart your day when it's like, I'm really just eating and going to sleep, you know, because I was doing that and that's my own fault, but it's hard because you do kind of get nervous and you're just kind of like, hey, if I say no, like, I don't know who knows who. And then it's like, well, if this friend badmouths me to that friend, then like, you know, you're kind of like community blacklisted or something like that. And you're just like,
don't go to him. Don't go to there.
Like R.I.P.
Yeah.
Man, I just lost my thought though.
But yeah, any red flags for me on the consultation is someone showing wigs, someone that's very demanding, someone that is like totally impulsive. Like, there's been a couple of times I even told them this. I'm like, you have buyer's remorse. I think that they were so like, no, I have to have extensions. I want extensions. And then they're like, I just spent $1,000+ and I'm still fighting with my husband, or I'm still just mad, or whatever it is.
I don't look like his mistress. No,
but whatever was going on, it's like, well, yeah, because you're still not happy because it's just hair. And I think that it's also, it's not like an injection or anything like that, because it does happen. And extensions are, you know, just instant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they may not lay the way you want them to. You may not accept. I mean, I go get my Botox and I'm like, cool, for like 4 months. I don't got to worry about it. But extensions, you still have to work and worry about if they're showing or if they're not. Like,
you have to know how to do your hair.
Exactly. And I feel like, you know, people these days, they're like, well, I just want to, like, my texture doesn't fully match the extensions. And I'm like, okay, well, mine doesn't either. Like, they're my extensions and mine doesn't either. Like, I still have to fix my hair. Yeah,
or like when you explain all the things and you send them the care cards and the you know, the the text message and things like that. And they're like, it's not a dumb question, but it's just like, you wonder where this question came from. They're like, my hair's curly and doesn't match my extension. And it's like, well, we don't sell curly extensions.
Right.
That's not what we put in your head.
Yeah.
Like, why'd I have to curl it? It's like, well, to blend it. It's like, you got a pixie.
Yeah.
You wanted like
and now
20.
you want extensions.
Yeah.
Why,
like,
I have no idea. But that's basically like what I like to do for consultations. And honestly, like whenever I do my classes, that's the first thing that I bring up is I'm like, consultations are so important because I mean, my assistant before Caitlin, she just straight up quit in the middle of the night. I love her to death still, but I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
And I think somebody upset her that bad. And I'm like, I already told you that I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah.
That's what I had told her. Like,
and when you say yes to things that you shouldn't.
But she's new and you know what I'm saying? It's still hard for me to say no. I mean, I'm not over here like, I can't wait to say no to somebody today. You know, I still, you don't like it, but you do it.
Yeah. Having tough skin is so important because I'm like, there are a bunch of great stylists that quit because like I was saying 2 weeks ago, it was like thing after thing after thing. And I'm like, am I delusional? Like, you know, it's like, do I think I'm doing a good job? And I'm not. And it was just like, it was just a string of kind of like pink flags that I should have been like, this is gonna go south if I don't, you know, kind of address it and things like that. But I was just like, I'm just gonna run away and take a vacation. Yeah. Or fake my death. But yeah, I think that how consultations are just to see if you're a good fit and if they have realistic expectations. I think like at the heart of it all, and I'm like, that's when you know to say yes, when you know you can do it. And sometimes it should like stretch you a little bit. I think, you know, you should feel like you're growing or whatever. Cause you know, we do extensions all day, every day pretty much. And I'm like, I still teach myself a trick or, you know, this and that. And then it's like, you can do the best stitches in the world. And somebody's still like, oh my God, it's buckling. You just don't know what you're doing. And it's like, you keep picking at it, leave it alone. Because they're having like weave anxiety, like, oh, my tracks are showing. It's like, they're not.
My friend Sally's doesn't look like mine. I'm like, because y'all are different people.
Yeah, it's like, well, stop standing on a mountaintop and expect it to like be perfect. It's horrible. Or like, you know, their kids are like, Mom, why you have fake hair? And it's like,
she's like, my kids noticed that I had fake hair. I'm like, okay, who cares what they
said
think?
That at the baseball game. I'm like, well, tell your kids, shut your mouth.
I just feel like at this point, extensions are no longer taboo and everybody has them or wants them if they don't have them already. So it's like, well, I mean, you might as well just get them or no one's going to judge you. And if they do, so what?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Or another thing to kind of consider in a consultation is retraining people's minds about like, okay, I'm older, I need to cut my hair. I can't have long hair because of this. And I'm like, it's really important to be able to be knowledgeable on like what's favorable to a client. Right. You know, there's some clients I'm like, you should never have bangs.
Yeah, and that's just their fit. That really doesn't have to do with anything age appropriate. I feel like everything is trendy right now. Yeah. People are like, okay, well, what should I do? I'm 55. I'm like, I don't care. I mean, I can tell you like certain tones and shades and cuts, but like if you want extensions, it's okay. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're trying to like look like you're younger. We're all trying to look like we're younger at a certain point. So it's like,
younger is trying to look younger.
Right. Younger wants to,
But I feel like people hear extension, they're like, you're going to make me look like Rapunzel. And I'm like, there are people who just want a bob, a full looking bob.
They want a certain haircut, but you don't have that hair texture or hair type. So let's try some extensions.
Or one trend that's getting on my nerves is I hear this and I'm like, are all y'all talking to each other? I was watching TikTok and they say a middle part is in. And I'm like, your hair will never do a middle part. Like you got a cowlick, you got a this. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
I'm tired of these trends.
Yeah. I'm just like, let's.
And they're not even good trends.
They're not. I'm like.
When did middle parts become a trend anyway?
Like not everybody can wear a crop top. Not everybody can wear a middle part, you know.
Right. Like, people still wear crop tops and probably shouldn't wear them, but that's okay.
I mean, I get it. It's hot.
Yeah, it is hot.
I'm about to wear a crop top.
I know.
I got boob sweat. I'm playing.
Also in consultations, I always suggest take a deposit. It doesn't have to be like the whole full cost of the hair. It doesn't have to be, you know, whatever, just anything. And it's non-refundable. And that's it. obviously non-refundable if you don't show up, but it goes to the cost of your
because you can leave us out of kind of that money. And it's like, I mean, I'd be like, you make your appointment. I'm like, you just finish it out. It's like the hair's here. It's
right.
Like, or come pick it up.
Yeah. I just think it makes you just more, it holds them more accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always say, hey, I can send you on your way. You can text, you can call me, DM me. Think about it. You don't have to pay the deposit today. You can Venmo it to me or PayPal it to me, but you need a deposit.
Yeah, I think that kind of like in closing with consultations, it's to get on the same page as somebody.
Yes.
And it's good practice to assert yourself, so that you don't have to kind of troubleshoot a lot of problems down the line, or like wish you would have said something to. So I'm like, the consultation
it'll put you in control.
Yes.
Because if you just say, okay, you're great, let's do it, it automatically, the control is with them.
Yeah.
Because you're not setting some sort of boundary or, and it's just protecting you. And you do want to be in control.
Yeah. And I think too, it's like, always kind of remember that you are the expert, especially in the service that you are providing. So be confident in that, because at the end of the day, your client really is looking for direction from you. Like, they'll tell you what you want, but you have to tell them if it's achievable.
Right.
And don't be afraid to tell them it's going to take several times. And, it's nice to have someone in your chair and, but own your craft.
Yeah.
I'm learning that every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, coach me, Tracy. And you're like, shut up. But yeah.
So yeah, that's consultations with us.
Yeah, I was going to say, it could go on and on, but I think those are the main points on our hit list. So
totally.
Thanks for tuning in again.
Oh yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.